Hello everyone, on this edition of Living Blind with Cory Jackson, I'm going to take a few minutes to tell you a little bit about myself, the person behind the camera and the microphone. So sit back, relax, and spend some time with me. I hope everyone's had a wonderful week. I know I have. I'm so happy that the weekend is here. It's actually a 4-day weekend for me, and had to use up some vacation time that I was going to lose. So I decided to take some time off so that I could get some things done around the house, including trying to get this YouTube updated. And I'm still trying to learn all the ins and outs of YouTube. There's a lot of learning to do, but I'm really enjoying it. And I must be doing something right because people are continuing to join the channel, and I definitely appreciate you all. As you already know, my name is Cory Jackson. I was born August 16th of 1979. Many people have asked, were you born blind? And I was, actually. Now, the interesting thing was, back then, they did not do all of the testing that they do nowadays to let the parents know that there is a problem. So it was about 6 months later when they found out that I could not see. Apparently, from what I understand, I was, my aunt was watching me for a while my mother and dad were off doing something else, and she happened to be doing something with a cigarette lighter, probably lighting a cigarette, but at any rate, when she flicked the lighter, she said, I didn't respond to it at all. And she took me to someone that she knew, and they tried other things, and apparently I didn't respond. So they mentioned it to my mother, and I was then taken to the doctor, and it was confirmed that I was blind. The condition I have is called optic nerve hypoplasia. The good news is I don't have really any other major side effects from it. Some people do. There are lots of little connectors that connect the optic nerve with the brain, and there must be one that just didn't make the connection. So that is the reason for the blindness. I can see light. I have light perception, so I know when it's light outside, when it's dark outside. I can tell when the light's on in the room and all that kind of stuff. But as far as anything else, I really don't have any other usable vision. Now, some people might ask, okay, I notice that your eyes jump around a lot. So that condition is known as a nystagmus, and a lot of blind people have that, and I don't really know the reason, and sighted people can have it as well. But I do have that condition. I used to get really bad headaches from it, but I don't really experience that now. The doctor did tell me at one time that they could go in and cut a few nerves to slow them down, and it's not something that I wanted to risk. So I just live with it. It's no big deal. So my grandmother probably took me to every doctor around because she wanted my sight to be restored. She, a family never like to hear that the child's blind. But unless it's some condition that they're real familiar with, there's really nothing they can do. And my condition, it had to do with connecting nerves to the brain. So out of all the dozens of doctors I was taken to, it was always a dead end. There was nothing that could be done. But I always say, bless my grandma's heart for giving it a really good try, because she wanted the best for me. She wanted me to be able to see if possible. Now, for quite a few years, the doctor had me wearing these really thick glasses. I mean, these things were really thick. And they claimed that if I didn't wear the glasses, I would lose my light perception. Well, I finally gave up. I quit wearing the glasses. My light perception really has not changed. So, of course, doctors can only guess. They don't know. They don't have all the answers. And so I understand. So I no longer wear those glasses, thank goodness. I probably would not be shooting these videos if I had to wear those glasses. So my mother enrolled me in school when I was 18 months old. I went to what was called an infant stimulation class. And from there, I went to Head Start. And from there, I went to public school. My mother was not going to hear of me going off to the blind school that was about an hour and a half away, where you just came home on the weekends. That just wasn't something that she was going to have me do. So I was sent to public school, and the good news is the school district had a a teacher that taught children with visual impairments. So I was taught to read Braille and everything that I would have been taught at the blind school. Now I had to go about 30 minutes away for school every day. It was in the next county over. So I had to catch the bus really early, and I was bused over to the school in Zanesville, Ohio. And I was usually gone from like 6:30 in the morning, and I wouldn't get home till like 4:30 in the evening. So it was a long day for me. But I stayed in that district all through school. And when I went to junior high school, they had the same setup. There was a teacher there that was able to handle any type of Braille transcription, anything like that. If there was anything that I needed assistance with, she was always there to lend a helping hand, and I was always very grateful for that. So I was mainstreamed in junior high and high school, so I definitely was not sheltered just to be around blind people. I was around blind and sighted people, which I'm very grateful for today, actually. One thing about the blind school is you are always around people that are low vision or blind, and there's nothing wrong with that, having those types of people as your friends, because that's how you are. But it's also nice to learn how to mingle with the sighted world. So that's one thing that I'm really grateful for, as far as going to the public school. I just didn't have to hang out with people that were like myself all the time. I could hang out with the sighted people as well, and I learned to relate to them. When I was in the 6th grade, my father passed away from cirrhosis of the liver. He was an alcoholic, very heavy drinker, and he drank, my goodness, probably from the time he was 17. So he passed away when he was 35. I was 11 years old. And that at that time was hard to deal with, because, we don't always understand at that age why people do the things that they do. But unfortunately, the alcohol did win, and he did pass away. I do have 2 siblings. My brother Chris, who is 3 years older than me, and my sister Consuela, who is 11 years younger than me. Unfortunately, my brother Chris passed away when I was a junior in high school. He was killed in a motorcycle accident. My sister Consuela passed away about 5 years ago. No, it's been 6 years ago now, due to a drug overdose, which maybe we can talk about at some point. I know that everything happens for a reason, and that is just how life is, and it's sad, but unfortunately life must go on, as hard as it can be at that point. But you adjust, you heal, and life does go on. However, having said that, I do miss my brother and my sister. After college, I did marry my first wife, and we had one child, my daughter Chloe, who is now almost 17 years old, and I actually have full custody of her. I am now remarried, divorced from my first wife and remarried. And so life has been good. I don't really have any complaints. I was introduced to adaptive technology at a very young age. I started out using the Apple computer in elementary school, and they were able to connect the device to it in order for it to speak to me, so I knew what was going on in the programs. And then in junior high, things really took off. I was introduced to Braille note-taking devices that were very portable, that were easy to carry around. I was actually involved in helping to create one of the first Braille transcription systems that was used in the local school system for a while. I was able to assist some with doing that and went around the state of Ohio showing that system off to various school districts and organizations. That was a really good time. So I had a really good start in adaptive technology. So it's no surprise that that is still what I am doing today. I work for a company that deals with adaptive technology that blind and visually impaired people use. One thing I need to mention, and this is one thing that I am very grateful for. There are others, but this is one thing that comes to mind. My parents never held me back from doing anything that I wanted to do when I was growing up. I was allowed to go outside and play in the woods, ride my bike. Heck, I rode three-wheelers, all kinds of stuff like that. And if they were nervous about it, they never let on to me. They let me live just like the other kids around me, like the sighted people. And I think that has helped me so much over the years as far as having my independence. For those of you that have blind children, the worst thing you can do is hold them back. Let them be like the other kids. Yes, will there be mishaps? Absolutely. But I'm telling you, it is the best thing I think that you can do for your blind child. Giving the excuse, he or she's blind, I don't think she can do that all of the time, will not help the child. Yes, that's true in some cases. There's some things that your child cannot do because of the blindness or the visual impairment. But whenever possible, empower them to do what they want to do. There's so much more I would like to say, but I don't want to bore you. So I'm going to keep it short, and maybe someday we'll do a follow-up video. Feel free to send any questions that you have for me, and I'll do my best to answer them. And perhaps, maybe, if need be, I'll make another video.